I'm live. Good evening, everyone. It is Friday, January 14th, 2022, and it is Freedom Friday. It is Freedom Friday live with Kenyatta Turner. I am your host of the Freedom Friday Show. I'm the CEO and founder of Freedom Empire Consulting. If you don't know me, now you know me. And I'm so glad that you are here with me as I go through what I do just about every Friday. Excuse me, just about every Friday. And I talk about a quote that I like to share and then other updates and things like that. The quotes are always about freedom in some capacity. And by the way, if you don't know what weekend it is Martin Luther King Day weekend. So starts today, the whole weekend. Okay. And if you do not know who Martin Luther King Jr. is, then look him up. That's what I always tell people. Look him up. If you're watching right now live, then let me know you're here. Please put a comment in wherever you're watching from. I'm checking over here to make sure that I'm broadcasting where I'm supposed to be, because I should be in my Facebook group and on my LinkedIn page and on my Facebook page and on YouTube right now. And I am going to speak to you very briefly. I promise I'm going to keep this short. It is Friday at 5 o'clock. You're probably off doing Friday at 5 o'clock things, but I am here for you right now because I did not want to miss Freedom Friday. So let's talk about the quote and then I'll get to the updates. So again, today is January 14th, 2022. And as you can see right over here, I have the quote that I'm going to share with you. And then I'm going to share some thoughts about the quote that I wound up posting earlier. I'm so glad that you were here. If you're watching live, again, give me a hashtag team live or hashtag team replay. Let me know you're here. Let me know where you're watching from too, because that's always fun. So the quote is, let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the right plane or the high plane of dignity and discipline. Martin Luther King Jr. I'll read it again because I messed it up. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. So, what does that mean to you? This is what the Freedom Friday quote really is about. I'll share a few initial thoughts that it meant to me when I read it, and I decided to share it with you today on this Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. But I'm curious about what your thoughts. How do you interpret what it is that he's saying? So as you think about that, you can put it in the chat. I would love to hear it, and we can have a conversation about it. So I'll share with you what I posted earlier when I initially posted the Freedom Friday quote, which is, and I often say every Freedom Friday, I say that as a noun, freedom is the power to write, or the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. However, that's just one interpretation of the word freedom. Because if you think about what he might mean by freedom in this context, it might be different than what I just said. Or is it? Okay. I put there's many more explanations. Let's explore them together. I love this quote by Martin Luther King Jr. as it is a stark reminder of the importance of taking the higher ground. And as I was writing what I wanted to write, it just took me a moment. I had so much I wanted to say, so much I wanted to share about this, but I had to figure out a way to condense it all in a few sentences. So I wrote, wow, there's so much I could say about this quote. And quite honestly, I'm not sure where to begin. So I'll say this: as we continue to seek and struggle for freedom in our lives, in whatever form, remember that you are 100% responsible and accountable to your own emotions, attitude, mindset, thoughts, and extremely importantly, your own actions. How you truly feel about yourself is a direct reflection of how you treat others. So, is it possible for self love and happiness to comfortably coexist in the same heart as bitterness and hatred? Now, I know my answer to that question, but what's your answer to that question? Is it possible for self love and happiness to comfortably coexist in the same heart as bitterness and hatred? So, this discussion reveals yet another reason why I always say that hashtag behavior matters all day, every day. Because listen, when a person has a deep, objective level of self awareness and understanding of themselves, not just who they are, but why they are, then it's easier to deepen their self-love, their self-esteem, their self-confidence, all of the things that they feel about themselves that are positive emotions. You can do that easier if you have a deep self-awareness about yourself and who you are and why you are. And with that, once you have that, it's always increasing your understanding and acceptance of other people through your acceptance of self. So this allows for the celebration of differences and decreases the condemnation of those differences. So think about it: dignity and discipline and freedom, absolutely a state of mind. So again, the quote was, "Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline." So I would love to know your thoughts about that quote from Martin Luther King Jr. And it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day weekend. Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we will celebrate all this weekend and forever the things that he has done for all of us, quite honestly, no matter who you are, where you are, what you look like. It's for all of us, right? Humanity. So if you don't know who he is or what he did, then I encourage you to look him up. You probably, if you've seen any of my Freedom Fridays, you know that I don't spend a lot of time talking about who I got the quote from, but I inspire you to do your own research, because I could tell you a few things, but if you look them up yourself, you're going to find things that I may not even have thought to share with you. And I do not want to limit you in your learning and education. So look it up and figure out who Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is if you do not know. Next, I just want to tell you just a couple things really quick. There are some very exciting collaborations that are happening this year with me. This is the year of collaborations, quite truly. And as you've been thinking about your New Year's resolutions, you've been going through the process. It's day 14. My question to you is, how are you doing? How are you doing on your New Year's resolutions and the things that you said that you would do for the whole year of 2022? It's 14 days in. Give me a check-in. Are you on track? Have you kept up with that? Are you moving forward? Did you set the goals and set the intentions and the commitments? Do you have a plan to do that? I hope you are blowing it out of the water and doing fantastic at whatever it is that you said that you were going to start doing in 2022 that maybe you weren't doing in 2021. So I hope you're doing fantastic with that. And we're going to talk more about that. I have a couple things up my sleeve that might help you. Something like a behavioral vision challenge that's going to be coming up. But these powerful collaborations that I'm doing, there's so many, I can't even begin to tell you all of them, but just know there's some big events that are going to be coming up that are going to be put together specifically for you, those who are learners and thought leaders and authors and coaches and speakers and CEOs and business owners and people who just are working to vibrate on a higher plane of existence so they can build whatever legacies that they want for the world, for their families, for their businesses. Oh my God, we have so many exciting things happening. So stay tuned. And then the last thing is, let me just remind you about the radio show. Radio show is tomorrow. So let me put up this little ticker here on the thing. So you may not know, but I host a radio show called the Healthy Grocer Radio Show. And we broadcast every single Saturday from Arizona. You can dial in on your radio to 1510 AM or 105.3 FM and listen every Saturday at 11 o'clock Arizona time. However, if you don't have a radio or don't want to listen on the radio, you can just go on the internet and you can go to moneyradio1510.com and you can stream it live. We also have it streamed live on our Facebook page. Just our Facebook page, Money Radio's Facebook page, and the Healthy Grocer Radio page as well. So you can listen to all the recordings of the episodes at healthygrocerradio.com, which you see at the bottom of the screen. But let me tell you about tomorrow's show. I'm excited. So the show topic is how I lost 60 pounds eating a plant-based diet. Okay. I'm so excited to interview this woman. Her name is Joya Wesley, and her dad is Fred Wesley, who was a trombone player with the original James Brown band, which is pretty cool. She wrote a book called The Easy Breezy Whole Foodie: Opt Out of SAD, Standard American Diet, in 7 steps. So I'm excited to interview her tomorrow. She's going to tell us how she lost 60 pounds eating a plant-based diet. We're going to be having her on as a guest on the Healthy Grocer Radio Show. So again, you can listen in Saturdays, 11 a.m. Arizona, and moneyradio1510.com/105.3 FM, or you can dial in and stream it at moneyradio1510.com. So I am excited. I hope you're excited. This is a beautiful day, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend and do whatever it is that you're going to be doing to celebrate this holiday weekend. For some, wherever you are in the world, may not be a holiday for you, but it is here for us here in the United States of America. My name is Kenyatta Turner. I'm going to leave you again with the final quote, which is, "Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline." So what does that mean for you? I appreciate you watching. I will see you next time. I'm Kenyatta Turner, the CEO and founder of Freedom Empire Consulting. I'm a behavioral superpowers coach, speaker, and master trainer. I basically help people to decode their human behavior and optimize their performance using validated behavioral insights. My behavioral superpower style is an outgoing, fast-paced influencer. What's yours? Talk to you later. Bye.